Jeff, NFC South, take us through that, because I know you love that pewter and orange or white. It's no longer the creamsicles, but tell me about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone's picking the Buccaneers, right, to either repeat or at least repeat in their own division, especially with Drew Brees retiring. So definitely I have the Buccaneers as I guess to give it away now, as my only playoff team out of that division. I don't see, the Panthers. People have talked about that. I've heard different people saying how the Panthers are going to be maybe a team to really compete in that division for a possible wild card spot. But I just don't see it with what's his name? Darnold,
Darnold
at the helm. I just can't see it. And then, yeah, you might have a decent, run by the Saints. They still have some good players in that team, and we'll see what Winston can do. But I just don't think they're gonna have enough to really compete. And then the Falcons they're kind of an unknown. I'm not sure what they're doing or what, I haven't really checked into them too much in the preseason and see what they're up to, but they still have Matt Ryan. So who knows there, but I would say it's the Buccaneers division for sure. And then the next three teams will be battling it out in that like 8, 9, 10 win area, for second to fourth place. So.
Jerry, NFC South.
Yeah, I think, let the Kyle Pitts era begin. I think him and Matt Ryan are taking the division. Just kidding.
No, you don't.
Obviously, like everyone else, Julio Jones saw the writing on the wall, and he did not want to finish his career on a rebuilding note. So he forced his way out of Atlanta because the struggle there will be real. And it'll be tough sledding for the Falcons in Arthur Smith's first year as head coach. And I think they will be looking forward to another high pick in the 2022 draft. I think finishing third would be the Carolina Panthers, because I think Matt Rule and the Panthers are still in the process of building things up there. Defensively, they've got some great foundational pieces like Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin. And interestingly, Carolina was one of the teams who chose to bypass Justin Fields and Mac Jones, taking J.C. Horn instead and putting their faith in your buddy Sam Darnold. So, so to me, the guy, as far as the Panthers are concerned, is that we should be focused on. He's not a player, but rather their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. So can Joe Brady help turn Darnold's career around and mold him into a bona fide NFL QB? That's what I'm interested in seeing. Because, they do have some weapons on offense. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, though his health is always a concern, but they also got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. So, things are on the uptick, but they're not quite there yet in Carolina. And, for the Saints fans who mocked Jameis Winston when he was on the Bucs, I wonder how many of them ever imagined that Winston would be the one that Drew Brees would be passing the torch onto in New Orleans. But it's what's happening, and it'll be interesting to see if Winston as well can resurrect his career under Sean Payton the way that Ryan Tannehill did in Tennessee. But the thing is, aside from Alvin Kamara, I think there are lots of question marks on offense. Like, will Michael Thomas ever return to the Saints? And if not, is Marquez Callaway the real deal to take his spot at receiver? And I don't know if you guys heard, they just released Latavius Murray today in favor of Tony Jones, who's an undrafted second-year running back. So not quite sure what's up with that, other than maybe it was just a cost-cutting move, because we do know that over the offseason, the Saints were in such salary cap hell that they had to, they lost a bunch of players, including some on defense like Trey Hendrickson. So yeah, so I'm not sure how the team's actually, gonna fare this season. And especially now with Hurricane Ida, the team's going to be displaced for the first, I think, quarter of the season. So I think it's going to be a little bit tough sledding for the Saints. And so, which basically makes the NFC South, easy pickings for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And it's not often in this day and age that you can have a Super Bowl winning team have all of their starters back and all their coaching staff return. But the Bucks are lucky to have both. And with Tom Brady at the helm of this offense for the second year in a row, you can imagine how much more proficient he'll be And I think the key to this team really is their tenacious defense, which is led by Todd Bowles and all the playmakers they have on that side of the ball, like Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Antonio Winfield Jr., all those guys. So NFC South should be an easy division to win for the Buccaneers.
Definitely agree with you guys on the Bucs. I think it's going to be a walk in the park for them, and we're going to get to see it right off the bat. Thursday night, first NFL game of the season. They play the Cowboys, so we'll see if the Cowboys get trounced as the odds makers are predicting, or if there's any kind of Super Bowl hangover. You look at the roster, and like you said, Jerry, all the players are returning, all the coaches are returning. Bruce Arians is running a pretty buttoned-down ship, pardon the pun, for the Buccaneers, but he is not letting, he's going even more conservative with his protocols than the NFL's allowing. He's talking about nobody's leaving the hotel on road games. No one's doing any of this. He's an older coach who has just won a Super Bowl, and he sees and knows how good that feels, and he has a chance to do the repeat, and he's got everything in line. He doesn't want anything weird to cause a hiccup for this team. I'm going to disagree with you guys a little bit because I'm buying into the Panthers, mainly because I'm buying into Matt Rule. He's been one of those successful coaches throughout the ranks. I think he's got some offensive tools. We're talking about Sam Darnold as a game manager, but if Christian McCaffrey is healthy, you're talking about a guy who's going to get you most likely 2,000 yards from scrimmage, especially with a 17-game schedule. You mentioned the wide receivers, Jerry, and I'm going to throw another one at you, and that's Terrence Marshall. He's the rookie, and for those of you guys stashing deep wide receivers on your fantasy list, just keep his name in mind. I like what I saw in the little bit that I saw in the preseason. I'm not a buyer about the Saints. I've never liked Jameis Winston as a franchise quarterback. I think he did himself an incredible service by going to the Saints, learning under Drew Brees. But now that he's going to be the guy in charge, Kamara's nice, but you talked about Michael Thomas missing time. They've got an older secondary with Malcolm Jenkins back there. I don't know how much that's going to be able to hold up. And they're displaced. So I don't think the Saints are going to completely tumble because I do like Sean Payton. And I think he's going to continue to use Taysom Hill in a rotational piece as a quarterback / running back / wide receiver, whatever he wants to be. So I'm looking at the Panthers and Saints kind of battling out in that 7-9 win range. I got the Panthers going 9-8, and I got the Saints going 8-9. And I got the Falcons pulling up the end at 5-12. I just don't like what I see. I don't like the way they've not only constructed their team, but gone about keeping Matt Ryan because they had to, because of the previous regimes, signing him to such a huge monster contract. They were not able to get out from under that, but they bring in a new coach. So now they're kind of stuck with this arranged marriage. Next year, what's going to happen? Ryan still has a big price tag, but they're going to be choosing high in the draft. Is that when they go get their rookie? At the same time, by all accounts, it's not a sexy quarterback draft. So did they miss on picking up Justin Fields? Did they miss on picking up Mac Jones, instead of going with Kyle Pitts, who I think was probably the best athlete in the draft? But I think we saw it with the 49ers years ago when they took Vernon Davis. That's such a luxury pick to take a tight end that high. That's something you do when it's pushing you over the top. I don't think that's something you do with a complete rebuild. So I see the Falcons 5-12.